There's a quiet assumption circulating boardrooms that just because AI is on the agenda, the organization must be ready for it. The tech is being explored. Some pilot projects are underway and a few use cases show promise. But beneath the surface, something critical is often missing. What's mistaken for readiness is in many cases simply activity. Like the manufacturing company that launched 3 AI initiatives but couldn't scale any of them beyond the pilot phase because their data infrastructure wasn't prepared. In fact, what derails most AI initiatives isn't a lack of ambition. It's the illusion of readiness. The belief that because we've started, then we're ready to scale. And that false belief is exactly what holds a lot of companies back. Because once we dig below that illusion, a clearer picture begins to emerge. And it's not about algorithms or platforms. It's friction, not the visible kind you find in budgets or roadmaps, but hidden friction between ambition and execution, between leadership intent and workforce belief, and between technological potential and organizational inertia. Consider how one financial services firm struggled when their AI-powered customer service tools sat unused because frontline staff hadn't been properly trained or consulted during development. And this friction doesn't announce itself. It just shows up in stalled projects, lukewarm engagement, and siloed efforts that never take hold. And yet, it's entirely avoidable if you know how to expose it. That's where structure becomes so important and actually non-negotiable. This is why a true AI readiness checklist isn't just a formality. It's a mirror that reveals your organization's actual capabilities across key dimensions: data, infrastructure, talent, governance, and operational processes. A tool to reveal not what we think we're doing, but what we're actually capable of. And done properly, it becomes a living artifact, a diagnostic that maps readiness across strategy, leadership, culture, and operations, not as theory, but as evidence. And it's not about ticking boxes. It's about surfacing the blind spots that would otherwise go unnoticed until it's too late. Once that mirror is held up, the next question is, where exactly are we on the journey? Understanding your organization's maturity is absolutely foundational, but it's one of the most frequently misjudged aspects of AI adoption. There's often a desire to paint the picture as more advanced than reality permits. But optimism won't correct structural deficiencies. A maturity model, which assesses your progress across stages from initial exploration to full optimization, when applied with discipline, gives you the truthful position, not for the sake of status, but for planning. It reveals what's enabled, what's blocking progress, and how you compare across the industry. For example, a retailer discovered they were still at the exploring stage of data readiness, despite having advanced analytics tools. And this realization really helped them direct resources to fundamentals first. And that clarity doesn't just inform strategy. It protects you from chasing complexity before you've earned the fundamentals. And that starts with who's leading the charge. Because let's be honest, no checklist, no platform, no pilot matters if leadership isn't properly aligned. AI requires far more than endorsement from the top. It demands active sponsorship from leaders who understand both the strategic imperative and the operational implications. Take the healthcare system, whose AI initiatives accelerated only after their CMO began attending technical reviews. and visibly championing data-driven decision-making in executive meetings. The Readiness Checklist doesn't just ask whether leadership is on board. It examines alignment across the C-suite, AI literacy, clarity of vision, and decision-making cohesion. Because without that alignment, execution becomes guesswork, and when guesswork leads, traction lags. But alignment alone isn't enough. It needs a foundation to land on, and that foundation is culture. Culture is often the unspoken variable, isn't it? It's not written in strategy decks, but it determines how well strategy actually sticks. AI challenges legacy mindsets, job identities, and comfort zones. And if your culture isn't ready to absorb that challenge, AI won't land. It'll bounce. One action you can take today is to create safe spaces for your teams to experiment with AI tools without fear of failure or replacement. So the checklist gets to the heart of it. Is there psychological safety around AI? Is curiosity being nurtured, or is quiet resistance building? It maps not just attitudes, but what's driving them. Trust, fear, capability gaps. And once you understand that terrain, you can do more than react. You can shape it. That's where structured change comes in. Too many treat change as an announcement. But real change isn't what you say, it's what you design. AI touches too much, from workflows to roles to trust in decisions, to be introduced casually. A manufacturing firm succeeded by creating cross-functional AI champions who translated technical capabilities into practical benefits for their departments, accelerating adoption. That's why the checklist embeds change management at its core, not as a reactive communication plan, but as a proactive strategy to shift mindsets, close skills gaps, and reinforce trust. It aligns teams with the transformation instead of dragging them through it. And once that shift begins, the next critical step is making it measurable and manageable. This is where the work starts to turn into momentum. Once the organization's gaps and strengths are very clear, culturally, strategically, operationally, we need a path forward that's sequenced and grounded. The AI Readiness Roadmap isn't aspirational. It's phased, prioritized, and backed by data. So here's a practical step. Begin by mapping your current data sources and quality before planning advanced AI applications that would rely on them. That lays out which gaps to address first, how to align investments, how to engage stakeholders, and where to build your capabilities. That kind of roadmap removes ambiguity and, in its place, builds the confidence that leaders need to move decisively. But we're not just moving towards success, we're also building for sustainability. Anyone can start something, but few can sustain it. And AI, more than most initiatives, demands continuity. The checklist goes beyond go live. It defines the governance that keeps AI safe and aligned. It sets performance metrics, refresh cycles, calibration strategies, and continuous training programs. One telecom company established a quarterly AI performance review board that tracked model accuracy and business impact, allowing them to refine approaches continuously. Because AI isn't static. Business needs change, regulations evolve, and models degrade. Sustainability is about anticipating that evolution and designing for it now, not later on. When that's in place, the question shifts from "are we ready?" to "how fast can we go?" So here's where we land. AI readiness isn't a side topic. It's the multiplier that makes every other AI investment pay off or not. Most organizations won't fail because they didn't try. They'll fail because they mistook motion for progress. But you don't have to be one of them. If you're serious about scaling AI with confidence, not just experimenting, our AI Readiness Framework gives you everything you need. From assessment to execution, it includes the comprehensive checklist we've just explored, plus 9 other board-ready artifacts designed to eliminate friction and fast-track delivery. Remember, assumption creates risk. Structure creates results. And with the right system, your AI investments won't just start, but they'll scale. Check out the links below to learn more, and I'll see you in another video.